Next, we're going to move on to box 1, which is the issues to be addressed. And again, if there's at any point in time you need some more time to fill this out, don't be afraid to hit the pause button and take more time. But the first box here is about putting in there what's your chief complaint or your problem. It can be bulleted. You might have 3 or 5 bullets on reasons why you want to improve. You know, throw in there the who, the what's, the whens, the whys, the wheres, and how many's. And just to give you some examples, I'm going to give you the 4 different parts of our nature and maybe some issues that you may want to address with those as an example. So for the body, maybe you're in poor physical condition, and the habits that you do each day have created that condition. That might be an issue to be addressed. The mind, there's no effort to improve your knowledge or understanding. You know, you're not doing anything to improve that, so maybe that's an issue you want to address. For the heart, maybe you're not an emotional person, and you hurt others without knowing it. And maybe you want to improve upon that. And for the soul, you know, do you feel irrelevant? Maybe like your actions just don't mean anything to anyone, to anyone 100 years from now. If you're feeling like that, let's get that down. That's an issue to be addressed. Next is box 2, and I'm going to do the same thing with the 4 different parts of our nature. One is that with the body, you know, for current state, maybe you're looking at your eating habits. You know, you're overweight by X amount of pounds. You know, fill in the blank there. Maybe you never exercise. You don't sleep regularly. Maybe you're only getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep. For the mind, do you watch 6 hours of TV per day and you don't read? For the heart, is your focus more on work and not on home life? Do you know your coworkers better than your family? And maybe these are all current state things. And if you have data for any of these things, don't be afraid to write it down. Numbers that go with this data, that's exactly what we need. Soul, you wake up tired? Do you go to work and deal with more issues and people and come home and work on more meaningless to-do lists and then go to bed more and more behind every day? And if you think about it, when's the last time you went to bed and thought, whew, caught up now? Maybe it's been a long time. You know, if you're feeling overwhelmed and in crisis mode, this might be a good thing to document in current state. The third box is about what is your desired state? What does good look like? And don't be afraid to, throughout this, don't be afraid to draw pictures. Nothing wrong with drawing a big smiley face here in desired state and jotting a few things down. So for body, maybe you want to eat the right sorts of foods. You want to exercise regularly. You want to sleep regularly. For the mind, you want to read a book, less television. You want to take a course. You want to expand the vision of yourself. You want to expand your vision of the world. For the heart, you want to give focus and priority to your spouse, your family, your friends, your teammates, your coworkers. For the soul, you want to step into the classroom of silence. You want to have daily visioning, and you want to fulfill your needs to serve and your needs for contribution and meaning. Those are all good desired states. And again, if you can have data, numbers to put in here so that you can compare and actually measure how you're doing, that's what you want to do. The fourth box is your gap analysis. This is the gap between your current state and your desired state. And examples, you might have a cause and effect diagram, thinking about, you know, what are all the causes of your weight loss, or what are the causes of the problems that you're dealing with, and what's the effects of those. Maybe you have some bar charts of some data that you have. Maybe you have a SWOT analysis, which is about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And then a Pareto chart is maybe you're documenting what are your major issues causing the problems that you're dealing with and trying to improve. So those are examples of the gap analysis. Go ahead and take plenty of time to fill this in, and don't be afraid to draw pictures again. The fifth box is about your improvement approach, and this is really high level. What are you going to do to improve the problem? You might take this PE 110 series to improve yourself as a person. You might take the Personal Excellence 130 series to improve your effectiveness at home and to create more time for your spouse and family. You might take the Personal Excellence 120 series to make a difference when you're working with others. Those are examples of improvement approaches at a high level. The sixth box kind of builds on your improvement approach, only it wants to know specifically what are experiments that you're going to do, what are some trials you're going to do. What are you going to do to try that proposed solution? And you may need to reflect and adjust as needed based on what happens. But maybe you start out exercising every day for 30 minutes before work. That's a trial. Take 10 minutes a day to read a good book that challenges your vision of your world and vision of yourself. Make a special effort to improve your relationship with your spouse by listening, by considering their needs, and by paying attention to them. And then take 15 minutes each day to step in the classroom in silence. 15 minutes a day to visualize what each day will look like. Those are examples of specific things to try to see if that'll help you close the gap between your current condition and your desired condition. Box 7 is kind of like an action plan for achieving that desired state. It kind of builds on the rapid experiments. You want to list out any actions that's needed to accomplish what you're trying to do, but set realistic due dates and utilize the personal excellence experience to hold yourself accountable. In other words, tell people about what you're doing and then hold yourself accountable to it. Meet that commitment. Meeting commitments will help drive that spiritual need to leave a legacy, and you'll just get better and better at it. Box 8 is about tracking your progress. It's confirmed state. So when you do the actions from box 7, when you implement that action plan, what does it look like? How was the gap eliminated or reduced? The current state metrics that you wrote down, after all those experiments are completed, what do they look like? And then you continue to review those and monitor them and ensure the success of the effort. It's about accountability and really holding yourself responsible.